y'all, it's Lynn. Today I want to show you a couple of techniques that I think you might enjoy. You may already know them. If you do, I apologize. But for those of you who are fairly new, I'm going to show you something that I find helpful and different. I love different. So I had these beads left over. I had 5 of them left over from a project I did a couple of years ago. And I love this turquoise blue with lime green. So I pulled these out and I thought this will be our necklace, but there's 2 different techniques I want to show you in the earring that I made. Okay, this is using the same beads. This is what I did on the necklace, the wire wrapping of these are 12 millimeter beads. And then, of course, I made my own little ear wire. I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm going to show you how to make a head pin. Okay, so I'm using this lime green wire. I don't know, I just wanted to do something really different with these beads. And it turns out I also had lime green chain. So I can finish my necklace with chain and it'll all match. All of the wire will match. But in the meantime, first, I want to show you how to wrap a bead. Okay? So I've given myself plenty of wire here because these beads are large and it is so hard to work with a wire that's too short. And this is 20 gauge wire. It's difficult to do what I'm going to do with this gauge. I would recommend to you that you use 22 gauge or 24 gauge even. But because I'm doing some simple loops, I decided that I needed to go with this heavier. Okay, so to start out, you're going to bend your wire. I'm giving myself plenty of room there because I prefer it. And these are big beads. It's a little different. Okay, I've bent it this way. I've still got marks on my chain or my round nose pliers, so I'm using that mark. Here I'm going to come up and over with that wire. I'm going to turn my pliers this way and go to the back. And then I'm going to take my other pliers and do a wrapped loop here. You just want to lay your wire down side by side. Let's see if I can get you so that it doesn't, stack up. 2 wraps is fine for this. So then I'm going to cut off the excess and get rid of the sharp spot. Okay, so I got that cut off. I'm going to take my pliers and tack down that little tail so it doesn't scratch. Okay, so this is what we have so far. We have a wrapped loop at one end of this nice long wire. Okay, then I'm going to put my bead on and I'm going to do another wrap at this end, but I'm not going to cut off the excess like we always do. So I'm going to bend it, position my pliers, come up and over, turn them around, take it around to the back. Then I'm going to grab the loop with my pliers, and with the other pliers, I'm going to wrap a couple of times. Okay. Now, this is where we normally would cut off the excess, but we're not going to do that. We're going to take this wire and wrap it around the bead like so. Just laying it down on the bead and coming around that other end. And then you want to wrap it around where you wrapped before, at least once all the way around, just to, make sure that you have a finished wrap there. Now this is where we cut off the excess. And take our pliers and tuck down that little tail. Okay, we have our wrapped bead. It's really quite easy. The reason I'm having such a hard time with it is because this is 20 gauge wire, and it's just 20 gauge wire is difficult to do something so tedious with. All right, now I'm gonna do my little this bead. Okay, so I have a pretty good piece of wire here, and I'm going to make the spiral like I have here. And this is going to be our head pin. And you could do this with so many things, but it does make it kind of cool, and it's not something that you're going to see coming and going. So you want to grab the very tip of your wire with the smallest part of your round nose pliers and just roll into a spiral. And then once you get it all the way around, you can grab onto your loop and just continue to lay that wire down on top of itself very carefully. Hold the spiral and push the wire down on top of itself. See how we're getting there? I'm actually going to hold it with these pliers. This too is much easier with 22 gauge wire, but that's okay. It's going to look fine. Now I just want to make sure that I get my spirals about the same size. But, this just goes to show you, you can make things. If you don't have it, you can make it. Just in using just a few techniques that are a little different. Now that I have that, I don't want it to be all on one side like that. So I'm going to grab my wire here and put it straight up like that. Then to work harden it, you don't have to have pliers like these. I've just had them a long time. They're wide and flat. But to work harden wire, you just chomp, chomp, chomp on it. And you'd be surprised how much just doing that for just a little bit makes that wire harder, because that way it's not going to come undone. So let's put our bead on. And now notice that I have this going in the opposite direction of the top loop. The reason for that is because I want it to, I want it to be at the front. I don't want to look at it this way because you won't see it. I want to look at it this way. Okay? So let me fix this. Just bending the wire down. I'm going to cut it off about where I think I need it. And do my loop. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to attach this to the aqua bead or the turquoise bead. Close it up. And now we've got to make our ear wire. Okay. So now this I would recommend using 20 gauge wire because, you don't want it to change. You don't want it to pull apart on you. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll go ahead and cut this. I normally don't cut it, but I will just because. Okay. Now, I'm using these pliers. You see all those barrels. I have that many different sizes of loops I can make, but for this part of the earring, I use this. Okay, so I'm just going to roll it. That's all there is to it. Okay, get it flush with the wire and just roll it like so. Okay, then I'm going to use this barrel for making the ear hook. Let's see. I want him in like that, and then I'm going to take this wire, come up and over. Okay. Now I want to make it the same size as this one, so I want to cut it to the same length that this one is. So I'm going to cut it right there. Okay, now, because this is rough, and you can, play with this to get it the exact shape you want it, but because this is rough, I'm going to take a cup burr and smooth it out because I don't want that to scratch or irritate my ears. You can do this with a manual one. I have a manual one, but then I had to have this one too. I actually like making ear wires. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, I call them duckbill pliers, and harden this. Just chomp, chomp, chomp on it. Because I don't want it to open up. But I know you can't tell, but that is quite hard. Okay, so then I'm going to take my beads, open my ear wire, and put them on. Point that way or this way. There we go. But you know what? I don't really like the orientation of that. So what I'm going to do is just change it a little bit, but you got to be real careful so you don't undo your wrap. There we go. That's better. And just close that back up. And there's our earrings. So, if you want to use a colored wire for something, don't be intimidated. It's not hard to make those earrings, as you saw. Okay, so now, let me get a drink here. I'm dry as a bone. All we have left to do is to finish our necklace. So I'm going to measure this. I think that's just adorable. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but okay, this is about 8 inches, so we're going to need about 10 inches of chain. So I'm going to get my chain, measure that. Can you believe I had chain that color? Not crazy. I've had this stuff for years. Every once in a while, I like to do something really different, and using different color chain and different color wire and everything is definitely one way to go. All right, I said I want about 10 inches. Okay, actually probably more like about 9.5 because I'm going to put a clasp on. Okay, here's where I need to cut. Oh, these are open links. Yippee, yippee, yippee. So rather than cutting my wire, I'm just going to open the link. There we go. Get rid of our trash. And now to make sure I get this equal, I'm going to use one of my magic rods just to see where center is. What I do is I put the last link on these for each side and then let it hang and figure out where my opening needs to be, and it's right there. So we'll do the same thing. We'll just open him up. Okay. Now notice something for me right here. I ended with this color. I wanted to end with a turquoise, but since I was wire wrapping these, I thought it best to end with a simple loop, and that way I don't have to worry about needing jump rings because I don't have jump rings this color. So I'm just going to open that link and put my chain on like that. Okay, there's one side. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Open my link. Come here. Put the chain on and close it. Okay, I also made a clasp. It's just a hook clasp. And the beauty of this is it fits through this chain. So, you know, if you're wearing the necklace, you just hook it right through a link there. Okay. So now all I need to do is get my chain on my, and what I'm going to do, because I doubled this, is I'm going to split these, one way, one the other. Put it on one. Close him up. And now figure out how to get the other one in there. And you don't have to double a clasp. As a matter of fact, you could use something pretty much like the earrings as a clasp. If I can't get this little sucker in there we go. I was going to say, if I can't get this in there, that's what we're doing. But it's going to work just fine. And the necklace it's got enough weight to it that that's not going to come undone. Plus, on this side, I made it really long. Now, if somebody wants a shorter necklace, look what they can do. They can just go to any link they want to, and it'll go right through. So it's kind of self-adjusting as well. All right, y'all. Well, I hope there was something in this video that was helpful for you. Um, it's always fun to do something like this, especially something that's different from the everyday, everyday what we do. So, like I said, you can do this with any bead. I happen to be using, these are 12s, these are 8s, and these are 6s. So, you could put any kind of beads together. You could do, this would make a really cute, like, boho set, I think. But anyway, I hope you found something useful in the video. And remember, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Ring that bell and you'll be notified when I upload new content. You guys remember, take good care of yourselves, be kind to one another, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.